So being totally real with you guys, like I think it can be really difficult to find Sims 4 mods that are actually good. And what I mean by good is that if they're implemented in a way that looks so official, like you wouldn't think it was a mod, like you'd think it was an official pack or an official part of the actual gameplay. Over the years, like I've curated a lot of Sims 4 mods, some of which are now unfortunately dead because the modders don't update them, but others are still being updated and they're so official looking, and I really want to share them with you all. The first mod I have for you is the realistic real estate mod. I've had a play with this one and it is honestly incredible in terms of how detailed it is. Basically, it makes the process of buying and selling properties in the game so in depth, you can actually turn it into a really big thing. Whether you want to buy or sell, you first have to hire a realtor, and you can basically set a price range, you can set a style design, you can set a world, you can set many different characteristics for a property that you want, and your realtor will go and find it for you and come back with a property. Property values, unlike in the base game, are actually a lot more in depth here, and they're based on, for example, how many bedrooms it has, bathrooms, a landscaping design, and it uses a really cool calculation in order to determine the value of the property. And based on that, you also get a price, and you've got to decide, like, is it worth it or not? And when you go through the actual process of buying it and you find a property that you want, you actually go through like a bidding war with them where your realtor helps you and it gives you guides on what to do. But the UI for it is so cool. It literally looks like a little like bidding battle. Like, it looks so official the way it's been implemented. It's so cool. It even has sound effects, guys, and you have to make decisions to determine the price and to try and negotiate the lowest price possible whilst being completely reasonable. And it is so fun the way it's implemented. As well as buying a property, you can also sell a property, which is basically the exact same process. And in order to make the value of your property higher, you have to do landscaping and make it look nice and have bedrooms and bathrooms, etc. It's like a big expansion to the interior designer career of the Dream Home Decorator game pack. Like, it's that cool. You can also be a landlord with this pack and actually get tenants to live in properties. So you can own multiple properties. You can live in one property, buy another property and rent that property out, make money from it. Although it does come with challenge. So some tenants will not pay you. They will try to underpay you and you'll have to evict them or try and negotiate them with a lower rent if you don't want to evict them. Like, it's so in depth the way it's been implemented. It is honestly incredible. With this mod, it's recommended that you include it with the S&B Bank Bills mod, which is another mod by the same creator, and I honestly recommend getting both at the exact same time. This mod basically makes it so that you can manage bills for a property. So if you're renting out a property to another tenant, you might still have to, you know, pay the bills for that property, and it makes it a lot more realistic. The mod also adds like child support, alimony. It splits out utilities in terms of like water, gas, whatever, electricity, but also with like internet, phone bills. It's really, really cool, and it makes it a lot more realistic in conjunction with the real estate mod, and I honestly recommend getting both of these at the exact same time. This creator really has like put a lot of effort into their mods, and I think it's incredible. The next one is called Tumbling Tots Co-Active Daycare Create. Now, if you go on the official website for this, click off it immediately because it's broken. The original creator abandoned the mod, but another creator has basically taken over the mod and updated it to renew it so it continues to work. It's just been updated for Sims 4 Infants as well, which is cool. I had a little play with this just before the Infants update came out, so I only had to look after toddlers, but trust me when I say it is so fun and it feels like a proper active life career. There are two options, which is firstly being a daycare teacher where you go to the lot itself. That is the one I did in my Let's Play, but there's also another one where they come to your house and you're like a private at-home daycare person, just like in the Sims 3 Generations. This mod is really, really in-depth, and it comes with a set of objectives at the top left, just like any of the get to work careers. Because the mod is regularly updated, all of the glitches are always getting fixed with every single new update. This one does require the get to work pack, and it does require the toddler stuff pack, I'll be honest about that. But this mod is honestly so cool the way it's been implemented. It actually feels challenging and it actually feels real, and I genuinely wish EA put something like this in the Sims 4 Growing Together pack, because let's be honest, we were all expecting a career like this in the Sims 4 Growing Together, and most of us are surprised that it didn't come with it. So if you want this kind of career, I genuinely cannot recommend getting it enough. And the fact that as well it comes with 2 career paths, I think is really, really cool. And if you like the challenge of looking after kids but you don't want to have them like in your household and you just want it as a job, can't recommend it enough. Perfect. The next one is for the occult players, and it's a Fairies versus Witches mod, which brings fairies into game and witches. This one does require Realm of Magic. So you know in the Sims 4 base game there's that tree that you click on in Willow Creek and it takes you to Sylvan Glade, but there's not really much going on there. Well, this mod completely revamps it and makes it full of real life fairies that you can interact with, and you can actually become become a fairy yourself by going through a set list of objectives, which is really, really cool. As a fairy, you actually have to grow through your abilities so you don't get them all at once, and you have to kind of work on your fairy magic skills. It does work a lot like spellcasters in that sense, and you eventually grow your wings after you become a fairy after a long time. There are lots of different customization options with the way that they look, and also customization with what you can do with them and the different kind of magical energies that you can use. There are different objects to interact with as a fairy. You have a lot of power with plants and things like you could do in The Sims 3, which is cool. It also comes with witchcraft, which is very different to Realm of Magic spellcasters. These are kind of like fairies, to be fair, although they seem more interesting. These are actually very similar to spellcasters in Realm of Magic, although they're a lot darker and they use a lot of dark magic. And if you like the idea of kind of good versus evil, or like black and white magic, then having like fairies versus witches is honestly so cool. And again, just with fairies, witches also have ranks, and they have a lot of cool powers that don't come with Realm of Magic. A lot of new powers which are incredibly cool. So if you like occult gameplay, again, I can't recommend this one enough. The next one is the Dine Out Reloaded mod. Let's be honest, the Sims 4 Dine Out is not the best Sims 4 game pack in the world, and it's a shame because most people love the idea of Dine Out, and I know a lot of Simmers own Dine Out, but the problem is it just doesn't work very well, unfortunately, and there's not much to do and it's very limited. I've had a little play with this mod and it completely revolutionizes the game pack. Firstly, it fixes almost all of the bugs that come with Dine Out and make it playable. Whether you're eating at a restaurant or running and managing a restaurant, it's a much less glitchy experience, and it works very well and it's very seamless and it's amazing. In terms of new gameplay features, you can now play as a chef, so you can actually cook in the restaurants. You can also play as a host if you would like to, and you can play as a waiter, so you can finally live out like your proper Flo's Diner Dash experience, and that's why it's so cool. Another really great thing as well is that you can actually have settings to have guests place their own orders, which basically means that it functions like a fast food restaurant. So if you want to create like a fast food style restaurant, you can do that with the mod. This mod genuinely makes Dine Out feel like how Dine Out was supposed to be. And the great thing is as well, like all these other mods, it's always being updated with new things. I haven't tested it out yet, but recently it's been updated with like an Uber Eats style mechanic, so you can create delivery orders where Sims will want to have food delivered to them at home. So you basically place the food on a delivery station, and then the chef works on the delivery orders, which is really cool. It also has a brand new farm to table mechanic. So if you have cottage living, for example, or even without it, with just a base game, you can grow your own food or get fish by fishing, put them in a refrigerator in the Sims restaurant, and you can actually cook with them when orders come in, and you actually make more money because it's like fresher ingredients, which is so cool. It is just insane how much detail goes into it, and if you own Dine Out, like this mod honestly is a must. And I know that's very strong to say it is a must, but it really is a must because it just completely revolutionizes the experience and makes it incredibly fun. Every single time I play with Dine Out now, I always use this mod. The next one is the Simmed dating app mod. I recently spoken about this on my romance mod video. This one, again, the way it's been implemented feels so official. I played with it a while ago, hence the red hair in the B-roll. I know, what was I thinking? There are different options under the phone menu, so you can find a specific date with somebody, so you can look through people and choose one to go on a date with at a community lot. You can also go on a blind date if you're feeling adventurous and just meet somebody completely random, which is so cool. And one thing I love is that you can have hookups, so it's got a one night stand feature from which another sim comes over to your house. You don't even need to bother gaining a romantic meter with them. You can just immediately go straight forward with the woohoo, and then afterwards like they promptly leave. You can also like go to their house as like a rabbit hole experience. It is so funny the way it's been implemented. I genuinely love it. The Sims 4 is literally like the only Sims game that doesn't have a matchmaking system. Even The Sims 2, it didn't have online dating because it wasn't a thing back then, but it had like a matchmaker. The Sims 3 had online dating in it. So this mod, I honestly genuinely think it is a must, and it just makes the game feel a lot more realistic. And again, the way it's been implemented, it feels very official. It's been implemented very, very well. All the animations and things are perfect. The UI menu is perfect. The mod also has an optional add-on as well for a new aspiration, and it also has an optional holiday tradition. So if you own seasons, you can make, you know, going on a one night stand or a blind date a tradition if you wanted to. These are all optional things. It's also very compatible with Wicked Whims or MC Command Center or Wonderful Whims, which is good. Genuinely can't recommend enough for realism. The next one is the Lifetime Aspirations overhaul. This is by the same creator who took on the Tumbling Tots mod, the Daycare career mod, after it was abandoned. So this one completely overhauls Lifetime Aspirations in The Sims 4. To give you some context, Aspirations in The Sims 4 work nothing like Aspirations did in The Sims 2 and The Sims 3. A lot of people complain that Sims 4 Aspirations feel like tutorials and they're not really like long-term life goals like a proper Sim should have. When it comes to lifetime aspirations, the whole point is to have one end lifetime goal that you achieve by any means you like. The problem with The Sims 4 Aspirations is that they have so many sub-goals, it's like holding your hand through it and it doesn't feel very natural. This mod completely revolutionizes them and adds honestly so much more. It is insane. And they only have one end goal, which is why I like it, because that's what a Sims 4 aspiration should be. That's what Sims 2 and Sims 3 aspirations were. So this one is country caretaker with cottage living, have earned 50,000 simoleons from selling milk or eggs, friend of the animals, be friends with at least 20 cats and or dogs, outstanding vet, own a vet clinic, rated 5 stars, athletic, achieve level 8 skiing, snowboarding or rock climbing, professional athlete, reach level 10 of the fitness career, creative, indie developer, have earned 100,000 in royalties from developing video games or apps, deviance, private eye, reach level 10 of the detective career, villainous Valentine, get caught cheating, fortune, we got retail therapist with get to work, personally ring up 200 customers, mansion baron, own a home worth 400,000, occult ones, complete 12 paranormal investigations with the paranormal profiteer if you own the paranormal stuff pack, lone wolf if you own the werewolves pack, level up to apex and defeat Greg in the werewolf brawl. They've literally made an aspiration for everything because some Sims 4 packs literally don't have any aspirations in them, like literally none. Like, you know, get to work comes with no aspirations, but this comes with reach level 10 of the doctor career with the top surgeon aspiration. The whole point of an aspiration is it's supposed to be an end goal, and that is why I genuinely love for this. I genuinely love it. Love this one. Black Widow, suffer the deaths of 3 preferably wealthy spouses. If you want to make aspirations as I personally think they should have been like they were in The Sims 2 and 3, this one is a must. Guys, I hope this video was useful. If you enjoyed this video, you might also enjoy this or this video here. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one.